Yo, what is going on, YouTube? My name is Billy TKO. If you guys are new here, definitely be sure to like this video. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel because when you guys do, we go to a different stratosphere. That's just the way it goes. Guys, 2025 is going to be big. I'm super excited, and I'm looking forward to it. But guys, in today's video, I want to talk about the top 5 superstars that will make a return to WWE this year. Yes, 2025 is going to be very, very big for returns. Some good, some bad. Ultimately, that is up for you to decide and not me. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's go jump into today's video. All right, guys, so kicking off at number 1, and he was the first person that came to mind. Well, it was no other than Goldberg. Goldberg has stated on ESPN Game Day that he was going to be taking place in his final match, and we obviously seen back at Bad Blood there was a stint between him and Gunther, so we do know that Goldberg is going to be having his last match, and it will most likely be done and held in the WWE. WWE has always felt that they have done Goldberg justice, and Goldberg ultimately feels the same way. That is why he chose to return there rather than somewhere like AEW, because a lot of people for a long time speculated that Goldberg would go to AEW and he would do things over there because it just reminded them of WCW, and ultimately TNT was his first home. So, I mean, it's really going to come down to who is this last match going to be against, what are they going to do in that match, how are they going to portray Goldberg in that match, are they going to have him go out there and squash somebody? Because if that's the case, me personally, I'll be all right without it. I don't necessarily need to see it. But ultimately, WWE has done a great job at least separating the idea of Goldberg coming back and just coming in and squashing people. It looks like he will come out, have that one match, move on, and yeah, we'll just call it then. But yeah, ultimately, I think Goldberg is going to return in 2025. I do think that we see that last match, especially with his son getting older. We know that his son plays football at the University of Colorado for Deion Sanders. So, yeah, I can imagine he's going to get that return in before his son grows a little bit older. That way his son can experience it, enjoy it, things of that nature. But moving on, I want to talk about the next one, and that is no other than Big E. Obviously, guys, Big E is... A lot of people said, like, oh, he's never going to return, you know, the neck thing. I ultimately do think, especially now with the storyline going on between Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Big E, ultimately Big E has to return. He has to come back. He has to prove Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston wrong. He is not somebody that was ever going to hold them down. He was always going to be the person that was there to lift them up, and he was always going to be the ultimate good guy. Big E is one of those people that we all just genuinely love. He's very hard to hate. When you look at his character, he's exciting. He's exhilarating. He is everything that you want out of a WWE superstar. So I ultimately think that Big E will return just based off the fact of the storyline going on. Now, I know that he is not fully medically cleared, but there's been a lot of rumors speculating that he was very close and his time was coming up, and it was bound to happen. It was bound to. The next one isn't on my list, but he is somebody that I just thought about while talking about Big E, and that was Randy Orton. Randy Orton will ultimately return in 2025. He still has to tell this story with Kevin Owens, and I do think that is going to be your WrestleMania match, but he is not a part of the top 5. He was somebody that I thought of right on the spot, that I was like, I should just throw it in there for a tidbit. So yes, Randy Orton will be back in 2025. But after Big E, well, there is no other than his old infamous friend, AJ Lee. Yes, now with the return of CM Punk, WWE has done a really good job at clearing that pathway from CM Punk and his wife and letting her be just the wife at home. Ultimately, I do think that, now again, this is my own personal belief. I'm not going to sit out here and say this is 100% what she feels. But I do think at some point, she's looking at her husband, she's getting the bug, right? The bug always comes back. AJ Lee was one of those wrestlers that we just kind of missed out on. We didn't get to experience all of AJ Lee. And I think WWE now, especially with her being older, can bring her in as a veteran. She can come in. She can really help that women's division. Not saying it needs help. The women's division is great. But she could come in and tell really good stories to ultimately put the women's division back on notice, put them back in a main event slot, essentially. and really get them back on the map. So I would love to see the return of AJ Lee. I know we've been talking about it since the return of CM Punk, and everybody was like, oh, it'll happen last year. Don't be surprised if she could ultimately be a member of the Women's Royal Rumble or something like that. I do see her returning, for sure. Another person on that list is no other than Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch has already been, she was in the promo package for the little intro video for Raw on Netflix, so it's only a matter of time before Becky Lynch shows up. I do believe it'll probably be at the January 6th episode. She needed to take some time away. She needed to go be a mom first. Seth Rollins talked about it in that promo against CM Punk. She was over there being a mom. What do you know about it? So Becky Lynch, she is going to return. I think she'll be there on January 6th. Her along with Charlotte Flair. I'm leaving some names out. But another person that I do think will return is no other than Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is somebody that I think is going to be making a serious return very, very soon. I also see her being a part of that January 6th episode, joining the Wyatt Six. Obviously, her ties to Bray Wyatt and everything like that. It's only a matter of time before we see her join with the Wyatt Six, Uncle Howdy, and things of that nature. And if she doesn't, then you can ultimately do like the same thing that you did with Bray Wyatt, and you can have her come back and be really good, and then eventually they'll come to her and she'll get like hypnotized. You can essentially tell the same story legitimately again, just this time with the Wyatt Six rather than Bray Wyatt. And last, but certainly not least, it's The Rock. The Rock will be making his return in WWE this year. I do believe that we see him at WrestleMania in a match, either with Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns. It'll be one of the two. And honestly, I'm fine with either of them. The Rock still has a lot of story to tell. He left abruptly. He still has a little bit more to do. So ultimately, The Rock will be returning in 2025. And that's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. So yeah, ultimately, you guys can let me know if I missed anybody. And I don't want to see nobody in the comments talking about the joke of John Cena. We all know John Cena is coming back on the farewell tour. So don't even think about putting that joke in my comment section. So ultimately, guys, you can let me know down below if I missed anybody. You can let me know if you're excited for any of these superstars. If you're not, definitely feel free to leave a comment down below. And also be sure to subscribe, man. When you guys subscribe, we go to a different stratosphere. Guys, today is the day. I'm going to announce it. We are officially on the road to 10,000 subscribers. So make sure that you are hitting that subscribe button. I appreciate you guys a ton. But we are on the road to 10,000. We're going to get there sooner or later. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. 2025 is going to be a big year for us, man. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I'll be talking to you guys later. Peace.